Hello children, good morning. How are you all, my dear children? Okay, very good. So today we'll do the questions and answers of which lesson? Yes, the school boy. I hope you read the summary, you have read and revised again and again, and I'm sure you are thorough with it. Yes? So let's begin the session, children. Working with the poem, page number 85. So you have these questions on which page? 85. Yes, so let's begin. The first question, children. Find 3 or 4 words or phrases in stanza 1 that reflect the child's happiness and joy. So here's the answer, children. The words, phrases that reflect the child's happiness are the song of birds and the skylark and the sound of hunter's horn. So read the question once again. Read the answer also. Did you read it? I'm waiting for you to go to the question and answer once again. Which words and phrases reflect the child's happiness and joy? The song of birds and the skylark and the sound of hunter's horn. Yes. That means what? The small child likes these sounds. Song of birds, song of the skylark, the sound of the hunter's horn. These sounds give joy and happiness to whom? To the small boy, the school boy in this poem. So now let's do the next question in stanza 2. The mood changes. Which words or phrases reflect the changed mood? Here we are talking about stanza 2. So you have to read stanza 2 once again. You'll get the answer. So these are the words and phrases. In stanza 2, drives all joy away. Cruel eye outworn. Here we are talking about the teacher. Sighing and dismay. This speaks of unhappiness. Once again, read the second question, children, so that you are thorough with it. Did you read it? Very good. And what about the answer? The answers are there in stanza 2. Yes. Okay, now we'll move on to the next question. A cruel eye outworn. Again in stanza 2. It refers to what? What does it refer to, children? The classroom which is shabby or noisy, the lessons which are difficult or uninteresting, the dull, uninspiring life at school with lots of work and no play. Mark the answer that you consider right. So the third option. See, look at the third option, children. So the third one is the right answer. Yeah? So what's the answer? Correct answer? Third option. Question 4. Now sit in learning's power, worn through with the dreary shower. Which of the following is a close paraphrase of the lines above? Nor can I sit in a roofless classroom when it is raining. Second, nor can I learn anything at school. The teachers go on lecturing and explaining. Nor can I sit in the school garden for fear of getting wet in the rain. So, the correct answer, again, read the question once again. I'm waiting for you. Did you read it? Did you go through? Very good. Now, the options. Let's go to the options. So, the correct answer is option 2. What's that? Nor can I learn anything at school. The teachers go on lecturing and explaining. So option 2 is the right answer. A few more questions. What is the mood of the schoolboy? The schoolboy is unhappy, right? So the schoolboy is unhappy in the poem, the schoolboy. The next one, what makes the schoolboy unhappy? What makes the schoolboy unhappy? Answer. He has to go to school even in the summer morning when there is so much to enjoy in open fields and forests. Second, his teacher is cruel and the lessons are uninteresting. What does the boy compare himself? Why does the boy compare himself to a caged bird? Like a caged bird. Caged bird, a bird kept inside a cage. The boy is also not free to do anything at his own will. He wants to lead a life of freedom, but he can't because there are many restrictions on him. Yes, in school we have to follow a certain timetable. We have to follow the rules, the regulations and everything. Yes, we cannot do whatever we feel like. Yes, and schools must have rules and regulations. Okay. Fourth one. What is the poet's advice to parents of school-going kids? The poet calls upon the parents to let their kids grow and play joyfully in early years. They should not restrict their natural activities. Otherwise, what will happen? Their growth will be hampered. They will be unhappy. Why does the schoolboy compare himself to a plant? This is a good question. So, his answer, children. A small child is like a tender plant. If he is suppressed too much, he fails to grow full size. A tender plant, if crushed at the bud stage when the buds appear on the plant, won't bear any flower or fruit in spring season. Yeah, very, very true. Yes, of course. So, a tender plant we should never crush. So, this is the theme. The poem the schoolboy discusses. So, this poem discusses a boy's repelling imprisonment at his school, his company from the animate objects of the spring morning, birds, flowers and all that. Okay. To the inactive object of his school is indeed a matter of concern and grief. So school life is suffering for him. It is a matter of grief that he cannot be in the company of birds. School life is suffering. The boy's feeling of summer festivity is countered by terrifying eye of the teacher that robs from him all happiness. The boy's feeling of summer festivity is countered by the terrifying eye of the teacher that robs him from his childhood happiness. School is nothing but a prison that negates the playful activity of childhood. The restriction of an imposed. So the restriction imposed in school forms a hurdle for the natural expression of creativity. Okay, comprehension 1. Who do you think I refers to in the poem? I refers to the poet William Blake. Sweet company refers to skylark, huntsman's horn and bird's song. What drives the boy's joy away? The very thought of going to school drives the boy's joy away. How do the little ones spend the day in the school? The little ones spend the day by sighing, that is grief, and dismay, that is fear. What does cage stand for in the poem? It stands for school, where the children are entrapped. Pick the phrase from the following which does not refer to formal schooling. Fruits are gathered. Answer: the fruits are gathered. That is the one. Okay. So, next question. Relate the seasons mentioned under column A with the stages of life. Spring, childhood, summer, youth, winter is old age. What does the schoolboy love to do on a summer morn? What drives his joy away? This poem is a typical extract of Blake's Songs of Experience. Now, Blake suggests that the educational system of his day destroys the joyful innocence of youth. Blake himself is largely self-educated and does not endure the drudgery of the classroom as a child. This poem is less harsh and more playful than most of Blake's other works. Describe the boy's experience in school. The schoolboy is a lyric form from the Songs of Experience. Here the child loves to rise early in summer morning and enjoy, but all the happiness disappears when he realizes that he has to go to school. The main theme is the sorrow that the boy feels at the very thought of going to school. So the boy longs for the freedom of the outdoors and cannot take delight in his book. He is compelled to experience many anxious hours. The image of the bird is used in the poem. The bird sings happily when they are free, but if they are in a cage, they cannot do the same way. In the same way, what happens? The boy feels imprisoned at school. Schoolboy in school and the bird in the cage are seen as equivalents, not only at the natural level, but physical subjection, but at a spiritual level also. Both represent the caging and entrapping of imaginative vision. The image of the plant applies to the schoolboy's present and future. The young plant, like the young child, is tender and is vulnerable. The way it is treated at this age dictates its later capacity to bear fruit. Just as food gathered in autumn is necessary to ensure survival through the winter, so also the experiences of joy and the freedom of imagination are necessary to live well and survive the inevitable griefs of life. Very important, of course. According to the poet, how does formal education curb a learner's potential? Formal schooling not only takes away the joy. So these are some of the or questions. Please read. Do you think the poet is arguing against education? Discuss. Discuss means you have to think and write. William Blake's The Schoolboy is a typical example of Blake's Songs of Experience. Blake suggests that the educational system of his day destroys the joyful innocence of youth. Blake himself was largely self-educated. He did not indulge in any sort of drudgery, endure the drudgery of the classroom as a child, the boredom, that is. This poem is less harsh and more playful than other works of Blake. Why child hates going to school? Because he is under strict control of his teacher. He feels like a caged bird. How does his happiness turn into sorrow? The child rises in the fresh and delightful summer morning. He is happy, but his parents force him to go to school, where he spends his time. He spends his time sorrowfully. Find 3 or 4 words that reflect the child's happiness and joy. Love to rise in summer, morn. Birds sing on every tree. That is morn, children, M-O-R-N. The skylark sings with me and sweet company. In stanza 2, the mood changes. Which words reflect the mood? Drives all joy away. Yes. Cruel eye outborn in sighing dismay. That means the child is unhappy. See, cruel eye outborn refers to what? 3 options are given. What is the answer? Option 3. This we have done. Okay. Nor sit in learning's bower, worn through the dreary shower. Which of the following is a close paraphrase of the lines above? Come on, tell me. Options are given there. Read the options. There are 3 options. Did you read? Okay, so the correct answer is the second one, second option. Nor can I learn anything at school. Okay, now these are extract-based questions. Extract is given there. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company! That is sweet. What sweet company? The speaker of the poem is a schoolboy who loved to rise in summer morning. So read the answers, children. That's the answer. Next, that is the next stanza. This is the next stanza. And what is the explanation? Paraphrase means explanation. So that's the explanation, children, of the paraphrase. And then followed by the questions. See, 4 questions are there. What does he dislike about school? Explain under a cruel eye. What is cruel eye outborn? What change does he aspire for? So 4 questions, and here are the answers. The child seems to dislike going to school as it takes away the joy and happiness. The child hates to be under scrutiny. He dislikes the fact that he had to spend his day in the supervision of an inconsiderate person. Child spends his day in utter discomfort, and sadness overtook him. The child feels happy by being close to nature. That's what he likes actually. And then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour. Nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower. So this is the extract, and that's the explanation. Instead of enjoying the pleasures of summer, what happens? The child has to spend 10 hours in his school. Why 10 hours? Because he does not like to be in school. He likes to be among nature. So we have 4 questions based on the extract. Why does he sit drooping? Why does he sit drooping? How does he spend his school hours? Why couldn't he take delight in his book? Explain, worn through the dreary shower. So these are the answers. He sits back, or he sits with lack of interest and tiredness. He's tired. He doesn't like that routine. The school hours fill him with what? Boredom. He feels so bored. He couldn't take delight because it does not excite him to learn. The child dislikes schooling. He doesn't like schooling because he doesn't find it delightful. He was scared and exhausted. So another one, another extract. And that's the explanation. A bird can never sing sweet song when he's caged. Yes, very true. So that's very, very true. If a child, if remain under the umbrella of annoying fear and tension, the skepticism of his teacher, can never enjoy the natural insights of joy and playfulness. That it doesn't come naturally to him. Yes, he feels bad. With whom is the child compared to? See? So we have 4 questions. The child is compared to a caged bird. It is like a bird that is put in a cage. A child who is afraid and suppressed. So if a child is suppressed, what happens? He becomes rebellious, starts revolting. Child stoops his wings, he becomes hopeless when things don't meet his expectations. That means when things are not according to his likes and dislikes, he becomes lifeless, as good as that. A youth is full of energy and enthusiasm. Oh, father and mother, see this too good. How the child is telling the mother and father. So nice. In the last stanza, he tried to make understand his parents that if a budding child is picked and swept off in the early stage of life, when there's no one to care, then how he could grow into a mature person. This is what he wants to tell. So now we have the questions here. What is the poet addressing to? Advice to them. What worries the poet the most? Yeah. So the poet is addressing to the parent. He advised the parents to allow their children to blossom. He is addressing the parent. The poet is worried about the fate of the growing children who needs to grow in a happy surrounding, which is very, very important. Then the fourth answer. He should nurture the growing kids. Yeah. The poet takes example of nature, which is so good, be it season or plants. Delicate plants actually, they need extra care, isn't it? Because as in summers the flower bear fruits, they to become matured individual to cascade what they. So children, we have done so many questions and answers. Please go through all the questions and answers. But before that, you read the poem, go through the questions and answers. Yes, read it 2 or 3 times. 3 times would be better. Write down the answers in your notebooks. That's all. Thank you. Goodbye.